What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Double R podcast, where we are all about uncovering the mindset journey. Yes, welcome to the Road to Results podcast. I am Bro Rhy, and there is my co-host, co-pilot, Ray. What's going on, Ray? How you doing, bro?
What up, big brother, man? Just blessed to be here, bro. Hey, can I get a quick shout out just to everybody that listened to the first episode? I know this is gonna be a few episodes later, but hey, we're not trying to hide the road to results. It's not a shoot and fire and forget and put it out there. There's some efforts that are mostly being handled by you, but all the feedback that we got from everybody that listened, even in our accountability group, just truly appreciate that response, that feedback. It just encourages us to not just continue to it, but to get better so that we can deliver more quality. But yeah, man, hey, I'm here, excited,
Yeah,
ready.
definitely. And I'm gonna echo that, bro. Shout out to all of our folks who've been rocking with us. We have our group of friends, some family that listened to the first episode, and this is episode, if all goes well, episode number 6, y'all. So this is episode number 6, which means the part of the road to results is planning ahead of time. So at the time of this recording, as you can see, I'm rocking out the Dubs hat because we're in the playoffs. We just started. So whenever this gets released, just know like these are part of the planning was planning ahead. And so that's something that so as you watch through each episode, and if you made it to here, so shout out to you. And if this is your first time watching any episode, just know that the Road to Results podcast is all about that, sharing this road that we are both taking with good counsel. And I think that was really the common denominator through all of this, is that we have good counsel through ETA, Eric Thomas and Associates. ET is, again, our fearless leader in this year mastermind, 52 weeks, and we are just documenting as we grow. As we grow. Ooh, I like that. As we go and as we grow. We're just here. We're here to just share the nuggets, share life experiences. Ray is the founder of Breaking Formation, and that was in episode number 2, or actually number 3. So make sure you check that episode out, number 3. And I am all about speaking with the young people, talking about identity in Christ, authenticity and purpose. And I also am an SEL educator, socially emotional learner. I'm the feelings guy at the schools, teaching young people how to manage their emotions and build EQ. I'm all about building EQ. Matter of fact, I just saw a quote the other day through Harvard Business School, bro. 85%, all right, per Harvard Business School study says 85% of success, financial success, is due to emotional intelligence, and 15% is just actual skill set. Harvard Business 2021. So just something to think about. And really, it's about this idea that you can't manage your emotions, you can't communicate well, you can't get along with others if you can't have that relationship, which was what we talked about in tonight's mastermind, right? We can't manage those relationships, nurture those relationships, then it will never move the needle. It'll never get results. So yeah, for y'all that are just with us, this is what this is gonna be about. Just real talk in real time, road to results, real raw energy, coming out from Greenville, South Carolina, currently residing, and then Central Texas. All right, so we all over. We all over. So, all right, Ray. So real quick, bro. You've been making some moves these last 3 days specifically. You've been making some moves, and I would love for you to share two things. Number one, what it was that you did in the last 3 days, and then what actually caused you to take action and make the move that you made? What caused you to like make the leap or just make the decision to be where
Yeah,
you were? And I just wondering if you can just share the mindset around that, bro. That'd be dope.
yeah. So it comes down to like exactly what we're doing, man. I mean, there's a process and there's a system to all elements of success, all elements of winning. And the first part is just getting education, informing yourself. You decide you want to do something, decide, do it, and then immersing yourself in that conversation, in that community, in that research, whether it's podcasts, YouTube videos. Apply that information, and then get in community. So I just recently launched, as you mentioned, launched Breaking Formation. Initially, was just going to be maybe a couple online courses, but just through community and being involved with people, I began coaching and consulting. So that became part of my research to learn how to get better, how to improve. And this is not lip service. You and I met by getting in community. We had been applying the free stuff, benefited from it, grew from it, and then we met, as we mentioned in episode 1, we met in Mexico, which we will be back there in a matter of 2 weeks. Yeah, right there. So launching this company. Yo, go ahead. So launching this company, your input directly reflects your output. And because I've been looking for a conversation about it, a ad popped up for a conference in Phoenix, coaching conference. And what I am, naturally, I make decisions pretty quick. It popped up, looked at it, time frame worked, so jumped on it and went out there. But a part of it, as far as how I made that decision to go, because I made it in a matter of, before I would have probably made it within 30 seconds. I actually sat down, took some time, thought about it, and because I want to get better at being intentional with the results that I want from the decisions I'm making. And part of that is our accountability calls every single morning. My 90-day goal was, at one point earlier this year, was to launch Break Information, get it done, have it done by the end of March. And through the accountability, like all the things that I was making decisions for, okay, incorporate the business, make the business official, release, let other people know so they hold you accountable. And this conference popped up, and I was like, okay, structure is a thing that I'm missing on a lot of things. We're talking about relationships and who's in relationship. The emotional learning is also recognized about who you are and who you're not. And I made this. I was like, okay, I went there, but I went there with intention. I went there because our accountability calls every single morning is, what are you doing to move the needle in the direction of where you're going? I launched the company. I want to make sure it's structured correctly. So I had to get in community of people that specifically coach. There were 750 people in that room. Bro, there's people in there that are making, 10 G's a month on coaching. And there are people in there that are making 100 grand a month coaching. Hey, so I was in the right room, put myself in there. I went there with intent. I'm connected, got in relationship with people that are getting those high level results. And then I met the dude that started the whole conference. And I let him know, I was like, I will be back here next year. And they recognized people from last conference to this conference. And for the amount of earnings they had gotten between last, and I was like, and I will be standing on that stage as one of these people that's going to be recognized. So hold me accountable if you don't see me moving. Hold me accountable if you don't see these results.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, putting yourself in those positions. Hey, put yourself in what is it, in miracle territory.
Miracle territory. Yeah. Shout out to Rhy Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and so I just want to, like, again, our listeners, again, it's episode 6. And for those of you maybe just jumping on, we talk about these accountability calls literally every morning. 5:30 we're getting up for me, 4:30 for you. And we're on these accountability calls Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. West Coast time. So just, and everything in between. And what it's really doing for us is making us very clear on what we're doing during the day, what we're doing for our families, what we're doing for our businesses, what we're doing, like you said, to move the needle. So I really want to just take that moment. And it's crazy thinking about what you had just shared about decision making. When I think about decision making, it's like, yeah, you're a high pilot, bro. High pilots, we move fast. Pilots are quick to make decisions. But I caught what you said. You said, but wait a minute. The old me would have made a decision in 30 seconds, but the newer, more mature me, the more governed version of your pilot is like, let me be intentional. All right, so if y'all ain't catching this, just understand, in our journey, we are surrounding ourselves with the community. We are making sure that we are getting in the right places with the right people. And then every single decision we are making every single day is straight laser focused. And so now, and I just wanted to speak to kind of what you shared too, because now you're in the coaching space. Originally, it was just putting the content, again, which is still great and it's still going to add value, but you realize, which you'll realize, that you actually can add more value, which is kind of the same transition that I'm making through this process, because I started as a game changer, doing the speaking program, and then I did the extreme execution certification because I wanted to, train and facilitate teachers, ministry leaders, all different, folks in the space working with young people. But that actually has grew working with Anthony Flynn, working with Tyrus and the ETA squad. Now the vision is R.E.A.C.H Academy. is R.E.A.C.H Academy. So R.E.A.C.H Academy is where we reach in and then we reach out. So it's that internal work, and then we're gonna reach our audiences, and it's for facilitators, presenters, youth ministers, youth leaders, catechists, volunteers, all of the industries that I'm already in. Because whenever I come and do a talk or I present, a lot of people give me love, like, hey man, you really can connect. You really good with the kids and the adults and whatnot. But what I've learned was like, that's cool for me, but I want that for you. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, yo, don't be like me. Be like you. Be your most authentic version of you. So I told myself, oh, I need to switch this up. I need to continue to speak to get known, to build lead generation. I need to continue to have online products. So the pre-recorded videos and the content of the stuff that I already have, just polish it up. But where is it going to lead everyone to? R.E.A.C.H Academy. And
Good.
just to kind of, again, piggyback off what you were saying, is like, this is for all of our listeners, this is the model to scale, right? ET said a long time ago, rookies make money on stage, the veterans make money off stage, right? And I just really am
Love it.
thinking about how we're building, because we're going to be a double-edged sword. So as we're going through this process and seeing how the clarity is really, for me, and I definitely would love your take on it, but for me, the daily accountability, the weekly calls, the clarity calls, rocking with the team, ETA's team, has not only given me clarity on where I should focus my time and energy, but today's relationship management or relationship call, relationship development, was like, now it was for what I should be doing with my time and energy, and now it's like who I should be spending my time and energy with. And flat out, this podcast takes time and energy. And I got to the point where synergistically we were like, yo, we vibe, but now we're like, oh no, wait, we got so much more to offer.
Oh
And it
yeah.
makes sense and it energizes and it's gonna move the needle
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
way we about to market this thing. So y'all are seeing this in unfold in real time in episode 6. Y'all getting some nuggets right now. So speak to that, bro. Like, yeah, just what came up for you on that?
So real quick, as far as we're coming with that was, tonight's call was about relationship, and then you saying, R.E.A.C.H Academy as far as reach in and then reach out. That first part, it's necessary. We mentioned it before. If you want more, you have to prepare for more, and that preparation work is internal. So when we talk about this process and this effort, I want everyone to understand that nothing that we begin to step into initially is comfortable. It is not something that I am, that I'm fully clear on. Like it is not something that I have perfected. But if you're moving and you're making moves intentionally, and you're going through a place of growth, you're gonna be uncomfortable. So that fear when you step into something, that fear when you're uncertain whether you should or you shouldn't, if you have an understanding of why you would do it, the how isn't so complicated. And understand that if I'm going through this and I'm growing through this, there's gonna be, I don't know, not one or two, there's gonna be several moments of uncomfort, several moments of being uncomfortable so that you can continue to challenge yourself to grow. And it's that part, bro, like with the relationship and the relationship with yourself, relationship with your feelings, relationship with the decision making process, relationship with the people that you bring in the communities that you put yourself in, that you have to understand, that you first got to reach in and grow within so that you begin to demonstrate an external result. And that's what you were saying. Just like tonight's call was on relationship, and I know we're talking about better relationship with the people around me and who in here's assisting. But it has to start here. It has to start with you. It has to start with you internally first, and understand and make sure that you are clear, not just on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you're going with it. But hey, this is gonna be uncomfortable. But if I just keep pushing, if I just keep running, if I just keep growing, yeah, I don't know what this completely looks like, but we're gonna get some results. We're gonna get some intentional results.
Yes, sir.
And that's just what I took from what you're saying, man. It's yes, you need to be around the right people, but when you start putting out that energy, when you start putting out the conversation stuff they have, you attract this. You attract the other people, and then you know who you need to select to move with intentionally. And that's how we got here.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's it, man. FTIO is one of my YouTube series that I did a couple years ago from the inside out. 52 videos, 52 weeks. Just dropped, some videos on what it means to grow from the inside out. And just like you were saying, like we're if we don't do that internal work, everything on the external doesn't matter. Kind of like in one of our past episodes where we're like, yo, if you don't build down and you only build up, whatever you build up will fall apart. So
Yep.
so yeah, no, that definitely is some takeaways. Yeah, tonight was again about this idea of relationship development, and Danielle and I were on the call, and it was cool because they were talking about not just your personal relationships, intimate relationships, but really how your relationships are with your business people. And what I caught, and even what I've noticed, even in ETA, was he was like, "Yo, I'm a high flight attendant, and I just need to be around more driven, direct decision makers, aka the pilots, and the thinkers, the planners, the strategizers, which are the air traffic control. And he doesn't have too many flight attendants, but he has a bunch of ground crew. So I love the balance that he's bringing and the decision making that he's been making lately in terms of how he's structuring his business for the long term. And the idea that it's not personal, it's business. I think that was one of his videos he put out a couple weeks ago. So being that you came from this conference, I'm just, while it's fresh, for anyone in the coaching, consulting space or wanting to get into that space, what would you say would be the first step or two when considering it or thinking about it, or like I'm sure there was something there that like made it clear that this is the direction and the path you want to go. For all of our viewers out there who they got their counselors, they love giving advice or they love helping people out, and maybe are considering going down that lane of coaching or consulting as a business. What would be your best advice to them based on what you received these past couple of days?
So what was dope was I signed up for the conference. It's called Coaching Con 2023. And once I got into the private Facebook group, I realized it was actually a health and fitness conference. However, the picture of the what is it the picture of all the speaker lineups and everybody else who was there. There was a few high level individuals: Tom Bilyeu from Impact Theory, Alex Ramosi. Who else was it? I mean, those are probably the highest ones that I've seen before. But I was like, okay, regardless of whether it's health and fitness, the framework is going to be the same. But, and this is a 3-day event, minus the front end and back end, little social things. But once it started from day one all the way to day 3, bro, most of the conversation was about mindset and personal development and growth. They may have thrown in a handful of conversations about macronutrients and micronutrients and, actually working out, whatever. If you're getting into the space of coaching, consulting, you're serving someone. You're serving a people. You're serving a community of individuals that need your help and need your guidance for one reason or another. And what kept consistently coming through, they had Miss Olympia speak at this conference. And the thing that she kept going to was the reason why she was so aggressive in the pursuit of what she wanted was because people kept telling her to be someone else. And that made her push harder to be herself. Be authentically you. Be yourself. Understand who you are. Who is the person you're trying to serve? Who is the person that your ideal client, your avatar that you're trying to serve? Bro, does that sound like a specific health and fitness conference?
Nope.
Not at
Nah.
all. The
Nope.
entire time. So I'm like, and this, so people are like, hey, I understand. Like, there's like 4 of us that were like life coaches. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, how do you like the material? And I found myself educating them because they taught, a guy broke down a structure of what was the disc assessment, but he didn't call it that. Called it something completely different.
Yeah.
And I approached him after. I was like, hey, is that is that modeled after the disc profile? And he was like, well, I mean, kind of. I was like, bro.
Yeah, like don't play. And there's a lot of companies, right? John C. Maxwell, Tony Robbins, so many folks, even in the spaces that I'm working at, bro. There's a retreat out here in North Carolina, and they are talking about discipleship and how your personality affects your discipleship because it makes it really clear on how you can serve or what you would
Yeah.
be best doing. And so it's like you said, bro, it's something where the mindset journey, really, that's what it sounded like. Y'all was like, it was a three
Yeah.
day podcast with us uncovering
No.
mindset.
Yeah. And man, I connected with a few people, but we had conversations either at lunch or in the evenings. It's 750 people in one hotel. And locally, mostly nobody's driving, so we're going to the same places to eat. The same little, having a good social time and having conversations. And I found myself talking to people. I was like about their health and fitness. I'm like, yo, the lifetime value of a customer and a client. If you're having a lot of turnover, and this goes to everybody out there, like you said, that's looking to get into that coaching consulting. Understand that regardless of what they come to you for, they're coming to you in a season of transition. And the thing they're bringing in front of you is not the entire reason why they're there. And if you can find the problem to solve that they didn't even bring in front of you, you're going to have a client for life.
Mm,
You're going to have a disciple for life. Yes, they may be coming to you for health and fitness to get in shape, but most of the time, I mean, people are coming out of it. There's memes about it. They're coming to you at the end of a relationship,
yep.
at the end of a career, at the some sort of insecurity someone mentioned about their physique or whatever's going on. They're coming to you, yes, to externally get in shape, but there's something in here and in here that needs to be addressed. So again, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
your output is a direct reflection of your input. So if you continue to develop, if you want more, you got to prepare for more. If you develop, you can give them something they didn't even ask for, and they're going to rock with you for such a long time. So at the end of those 3 days, hey, continue to develop and be your authentic self.
Continue, man. That's it. That's it. And I think you
And
said best. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, and I just said, and then for people, like I said, it's a process of being, remaining uncomfortable. Like I said, I sought out the dude that started it, and I was like, I will be here next year, and I will be standing on that stage. Let me make it very clear. I am not making anywhere near the figures that people there were making. But I'm going to make sure that I'm uncomfortable because I know full and well, I saw the process. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be up here. I'm going to be standing on the stage with all you health and fitness coaches rocking it because I think there was 4 life coaches there and
Yeah.
just killing it. Be like, what are you doing? Like, yo,
Love
you missed the road. You just looked at the results. You missed the road.
it.
But
Yeah, yeah, and again, and just as we are recording this, digitally documenting this journey, I am wholeheartedly 1000% gonna support my bro and keep him accountable in all the ways that we do when it comes to reaching our priorities. Right? I don't even use the word goals anymore. It's like, yo, what are your priorities? So that's definitely gonna be something that I'll be keeping him on top of. Now, something that you we were talking about when we were just thinking about like this idea of coaching, of mindset, and just kind of this journey that we've been on. So today, right, we were talking about this relationship management or relationship development, and something that the nugget that I want to share with all of our listeners and our viewers is that whatever your dream is, there was a part where we were like, E was like, yo, how many people share the same vision with you? How many people are on your team helping you push to get to that goal? Because he's big on animals, right? African wild dog. I'm gonna just leave it there, let y'all do your homework on that, or that'll be another pod. But the idea is, he's like, how many people are really on the same page helping you out? And there was a lot of ones, a couple twos, and his whole idea was like, like we say before, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. And so the message or the invitation I want for our listeners and viewers to really think about is the people you have around you for whatever your goal is. Are they number one, the right people in the sense of because they're offering something that you don't have, number one. And then are they the right people because they have the vision, they share the vision that you have, meaning they see it in you. So you've either attracted them and they're excited and they're curious, like you were saying, right? Like they could be these lifelong disciples or people that rock with you, right? Or are the visions off? And so I think that's something that we have to really consider, that I'm really considering, because I was looking at, I have on my notes here, make a list of the people who, because I put it too, just for the most part, because I was thinking, well, Danielle is like my most intimate person and she pushes me on and off the court. And then I have a whole bunch of other folks that like know what I want to do with the flight assessment, know what I want to do with my speaking, know what I want, and they support me to an extent. I got a couple air traffics, I got a couple, not really any pilots, a lot of grounds crew. And then I was telling Danielle, right, with you, I like, oh, I'm connected with a pilot who's gonna just continue to keep me moving and keep me pushing. And again, this is not about just inspiration and motivation, right? So it's like, so who in your life, take a real time inventory, who are the people in your life that are adding value, that share the same vision. And see, and that's where I'm like getting really excited, because we don't all have to have the same exact vision, but we share the same vision in the sense that, all right, I know Ray wants to be on that stage next year for coaching, so guess what, I'm going to focus on that with him in the ways that he needs me to. Because again, regardless of the industries and regardless of the different ways that we show up in our businesses, we still share the same vision. And I think that was really kind of the breakthrough moment for me tonight, because working with Anthony Flynn, with Tyrus, all the different ways that I've connected with them so far, is that they share the same vision in the sense that they get it and they're going to help me go get it.
Yeah.
And help me go get it. So yeah, evaluate it again. Just think about your crew. Um, right. Then last final, take it away. Final thoughts, final word. What's on your heart? What's on your mind? What do you want our listeners, again, Road to Results podcast, uncovering the mindset journey?
On what you just said, the relationships and sort of recognizing who's in your group, who's the one that's supporting, but you understand that it doesn't have to be the same exact thing for someone to support your vision, but also, hey, I want to make sure, bro, like, make sure that you put, and maybe we'll leave it in all of it, like, uh, you know, the link for discoveryourdisc.com. Like, so if people want to take a look at that, get in there, get some assessment, understand who they are. Because, like I said, it starts internally. Because we don't need to be finding a bunch of us. You don't need to be finding a bunch of who you are out there. So some of these people that you think, oh, they're lame, hey, they don't move at the same pace, hey, they don't talk as much as I do. That's who you need. That's who you need. If you get a bunch of you around, you're going to get the same exact results. So get some people and really speak out what it is that you want. Speak it to existence. Make it known. Don't just keep it to yourself, because you're not going to be able to attract the people that you need because of that uncomfort of sharing your vision and your goals with the world. Don't be surprised when the people that you think should support you, close friends, family, people that you're close with at work, whether you want to call them acquaintances or not, don't be surprised when they don't support you. That's where you start talking and anticipating. But that's why you build certain relationships and you get into these communities of individuals that are truly want to see you win. And in that community, you mentioned Anthony Flynn. One of the things he said as far as businesses is businesses with a redemptive value, with a redemptive focus, to redeem, to lift up, to build, and to truly nourish. And that's what I say, you're most perfectly and powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were. That's Rory Vaden. You naturally want to help and serve people when you have that redemptive quality, because I know where I was, you know where you were. And when we're looking for people, typically we're trying to help us 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years, shoot, last year, trying to help them get to that next level. And that's why you stay in community, you speak out your goals, you talk about vision, you create action steps, and you have people in community holding you accountable, because guess what? By this time next year, I'm going to be looking for Ray and Rhy from 2023 that I can serve. We all serve, and we all serve with the intent to develop, with the intent to get some results, with the intent to show you the road and help you traverse it. It's not going to be easy, but I guarantee you it's worth it.
Amen, amen, amen. And on that note, the last quote for me, as you shared that, was it's about my wife Danielle, and it's God doesn't always give you what you want, but He'll always give you what you need. Because sometimes what you want isn't what you need.
Amen.
And so with that, we're gonna let that marinate, let that brew, let that marinate in your spirit, in your mind, in your heart. You know, as we're working on the tagline, yo, don't just go with us, but
Grow
grow
with
with
us.
us.